Good day everyone, I am Fria Gorospe and I will present to you my favorite alga so far, which is Gymnodinium fuscum. This presentation will be divided into three segments. First, the taxonomy and phylogeny of Gymnodinium fuscum, then its morphology and descriptions, and lastly, the interesting features of this alga. So for the first segment, we have taxonomy and phylogeny. I included 11 taxonomic categories. According to World Register of Marine Species, Gymnodinium fuscum belongs to Kingdom Chromista, Subkingdom Harosa, Infrakingdom Alveolata, Phylum Myzozoa, Subphylum Dinozoa, Infraphylum Dinoflagellata, Class Dinophyceae, Order Gymnodiniales, Family Gymnodiniaceae, and Genus Gymnodinium. Here is the phylogenetic tree of order Gymnodiniales. The phylogenetic tree is inferred from dinoflagellate large subunit ribosomal ribonucleic acid sequences. According to Hansen et al., Gymnodinium fuscum is the type species of Gymnodinium. Its closest relative remains unclear, and they propose that it should occupy a phylogenetically more isolated position tulad ng pinapakita dito sa phylogenetic tree. So, ayan siya. Although kasi it has the typical fine structure of dinoflagellates, it also possesses several unusual features. So yung presence ng unusual feature na tinutukoy is presently known only in the zoospores of a very different genus called Noctiluca. So yung in-specify nila na species is Noctiluca scintillans. So ayan siya, nasa tuktok ng phylogenetic tree kasi ginawa nila siyang outgroup. Next, we have the morphology and descriptions of Gymnodinium fuscum. In this segment, several images of Gymnodinium fuscum obtained through light microscopy and scanning electron microscopy will be shown. This here is the light microscopy image of Gymnodinium fuscum. Its cell length is typically 70 to 80 micrometers, and its width is usually 45 to 50 micrometers. The image shows that the cell has a hemispherical episome where the nucleus is located, and a distinctly pointed conical hyposome. Below the nucleus, which is on the median, is the cingulum. So, yung cingulum, mas makikita natin yan sa susunod na images. Mas halata siya doon. The cell also contains numerous brownish chloroplasts arranged in a somewhat rotating pattern. This is the scanning electron microscopy, or SEM, image of the dorsal view of Gymnodinium fuscum, showing the apical groove na horseshoe shape daw, pero hindi makita or hindi halata dito sa image. Dito na makikita yung transverse flagellum na isa sa dalawang flagella ng dinoflagellates. This flagellum causes the cell to rotate around its length axis that provides forward motion and spin to the organism. So it is located in the groove circling the cell called cingulum, yung sinasabi ko kanina. So this image does not show Gymnodinium fuscum, pero parang ganito yung sinasabi kong horseshoe-shaped apical groove kanina. This is another SEM image of Gymnodinium fuscum, pero ventral view naman. Makikita na dito yung isa pang flagellum called the longitudinal flagellum, which usually trails behind the transverse flagellum. So, longitudinal flagellum provides little propulsive force but causes a rotation of the cell around an axis perpendicular to the longitudinal axis. So, together with the transverse flagellum, these two rotational components result in a helical swimming path. For the last segment, ano nga ba yung interesting features ng Gymnodinium fuscum? Initially, the Gymnodinium genus caught my attention kasi nabanggit ni Sir na they are capable of kleptoplasty. So, di ba, kleptoplasty is a type of photosynthetic association which these organisms use to retain chloroplasts. So, for this genus, Gymnodinium, they retain chloroplasts of cryptomonad origin. So, they maintain the functional chloroplasts, which we now call kleptochloroplasts or kleptoplastids or kleptoplasts, kung saan kayo komportable, within them until they lose their functions, which is to photosynthesize. So the useless kleptoplastids will be digested and replaced with newly acquired plastids. So ayan, sa Gymnodinium genus talaga ako interested nung umpisa. Pero species lang yung nire-require ni Sir, so inisa-isa ko yung Gymnodinium species. And I got interested with Gymnodinium fuscum. I find this algal species interesting because of its taxonomic importance, such that it was the first member of its genus to be described. Moreover, studies regarding this species suggest the further splitting of Gymnodinium. So related ito sa nabanggit ko kaninang unusual features ng Gymnodinium fuscum. Isa kasi sa most unusual features niya is yung absence ng transverse striated flagellar root, a feature presently known only in the zoospores of Noctiluca. So together with another unusual feature, which is the absence of its striated collars around the flagellar canals, Hansen et al. Suggest a phylogenetically more isolated position for this species. So heto siya if nakalimutan nyo na. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.